Hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another Ultimate Hunting video. Now, it's been quite a while since I made a video on Ultimate Hunting, but there has been a lot of updates and posts onto their official Facebook page, so we're going to go through and take a look at some of the ones that I found the most interesting. So, starting off with this, we have a list of animals for the Southern Africa Hunting Reserve. So, going through them, we have the African bush elephant, Angolan giraffe, Cape hippopotamus, the lion, Cape buffalo, Nile crocodile, blue wildebeest, common zebra, greater kudu, chacma baboon, blackback jackal, warthog, helmeted guinea fowl, white-faced whistling duck, African savanna hare, Cape ground squirrel, and the rock hyrax. Now that is quite a list of species, and some in there that I'm going to be incredibly excited to hunt. The elephants, the giraffes, the Nile crocodile, zebra. There's just so many species on that list that I have been wanting in a hunting game for a really long time, and I think that that is quite a great lineup, honestly, for a Southern Africa map. Now, there's also been this post, which is a list of animals for the California Hunting Reserve. So, going through them, we have the American black bear, the tule elk, mountain lion, Colombian black-tailed deer, California mule deer, bighorn sheep, wild boar, pronghorn, American badger, raccoon, wild turkey, ringneck pheasants, snowshoe hare, American crow, mallard, wood duck, and Californian quail. Now, once again, heck of a lineup for a map. There's a lot of really cool species on there. The tule elk is one that I'm pretty excited for, as well as the black-tailed deer. The pronghorn, obviously, are going to be a big favourite, as well as the turkeys. Pheasants are going to be pretty cool, I would imagine. Seeing American crow as well, I think that will be really interesting. Wood duck are beautiful, so they will be really cool. And I love Californian quail. I think they are a really incredible species. Now, we're just going to take a look at a few sort of concept art posts that have been shared to their official Facebook page. We have a 3D model here for a Cape buffalo, which honestly just looks incredible. This is a really detailed looking model, and I did slow down the clip so that you guys can take a little bit more of a look at some of the detail there. But that does look incredible in my opinion. And then we have sort of this page here of sort of some different poses, some concept art that I just think looks awesome yet again. We also have some concept art here for a badger, which again looks awesome. I love seeing all the different poses. I think that's a really cool thing to actually see for some concept art. And that really shows here with the pronghorn, seeing those sort of running poses and how they've done that in the concept art. This makes me really excited to see what the pronghorn will look like. Now we have the warthog, which again, just these poses look spot on. So if these are going to be in the animations, I will be really excited. Now, this post got shared a little while ago of some different warthog tusks using their random generation system. Now, there were some comments from some people saying these aren't entirely realistic, but Ultimate Hunting, the devs came forward and said this was just basically to show off how random the system could be. So you might just find some that just look completely odd and weird, which in nature you will find oddities sometimes, especially with teeth. I used to clean animal skulls for study, and sometimes you'd find some really weird pathology on teeth. So you never know, you might get one that does just look like that. Here we have an example of what I believe to be elk antlers, again in that random generation system, and just taking a look at sort of how that's affecting those antlers there. And it was really interesting to read about their generation system and how random it can be, and I think that was really well shown off by those warthog tusks. Now here we have some models for the baboons. The baby baboon needs a little bit of work there, but overall I think they look pretty good again. Then moving on, we have some concept art for the black bear, which I think they got a lot of character into this concept art. And then this beautiful clip that they posted that just looked so cool and so realistic to me. Then we have a couple of screenshots of the black bear in a couple of different sort of poses and in the environment. And I'm not entirely sure about the face, if it looks quite right on the bear. Maybe it does, but I think maybe the head is just a little bit, maybe out of proportion. Something about it just looks a little bit odd to me, but you guys make sure, leave a comment, tell me what you guys think of that. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. Now, one that I am incredibly excited to talk about, we have some elephant concept art here, which when I first saw it, I said that looks really quite on the money. And now we have a couple of pictures of elephants in game, and the amount of detail in these elephant models has me so excited. So we had this image here, which you can get a decent look at the elephant model, but then we have this image. This image right here has me so excited. I want to go and chase elephants in this game. I think it will be a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, it is just a game. However you feel about hunting elephants in real life, it's a game. It's not affecting real life ones, so it's not a big problem. Now, this is something that's interested me, is the fact that they've shared concept art and designs for various NPCs for the game. And this gives me a lot of hope for the actual character models that we will get to play as. And hopefully they won't just be sort of basic looking, and hopefully they'll have quite a bit of customization. And because I think that's a really important aspect of a game, is, making your character look the way you want it to. So again, just a couple more screenshots here of some of the animals. The wild boar. I do like how the wild boar look, but there's one thing I'd say, especially about this picture, where the hair looks it almost looks like a plastic model that's been painted. I don't know if you guys can see what I mean, but it's almost like a painted plastic model, like a toy. And I hope that the fur gets a bit more of a realism factor added to it, if that makes sense. This image is so cool of what is obviously a female hippopotamus there with a calf, and you can see the back of a crocodile there. That's just so cool to me. One of my dream hunts is for a big hippo bull in real life, and also for a big croc. So that to me is just such a cool image that got me really excited. Now we have this beautiful image, which I believe to be of a couple of mule deer. It could also be the blacktail, but I think the antlers don't look quite right for the blacktail, but I could be wrong. But I do think it's mule deer. But this picture is absolutely stunning. The environment detail and just the colour scheme of this looks really, really beautiful. And seeing the deer in the water as well is quite cool. Now, this image also got shared, and even though it's blurred, I think we can tell that is a rare animal there. That does appear to be an albino or a leucistic of some kind. What species it is quite hard to tell. It does appear to be a deer species with some kind of antlers, but what species it is exactly is kind of hard to tell, sort of based off of, just this image. But it's a rare. And you guys know I love to chase rares in these hunting games, so seeing that for the first time, that again made me really excited. This image here of one of the elk in this environment, again, just looks really, really beautiful. Very sort of natural looking, I think. I think it looks really nice, and yeah, natural looking. Now we have this clip here, which I've slowed down for you guys, which was actually an example of the Ragdoll Physics if you were to shoot a deer as it was running by. And it looked okay. There was some comments about it, the animal shouldn't slide as much, which I do think they will address, but that was just sort of a look to see how it was looking at that point in time. Now this right here is something quite interesting. This was a sort of a roughed out idea of how the harvest screen for animals might look. And like I said, it's kind of a roughed out idea because you've got all the notes and everything here. But overall, I quite like the look of this. It's quite a nice design, very clean, which I like. And I hope that they choose to go with a 3D model there instead of just a 2D model of one of the animals, or a 2D picture rather. I think the 3D model, which we see in Call of the Wild and the harvest screens, would really add to it. But I do like this harvest screen. I do like how it looks, and obviously there's a lot that was going to be changed here, but overall I think it's pretty good. Now, moving on to this next little section, and we're going to take a look at vehicles in the game, which is something I never thought I'd care about, honestly. I don't really mind vehicle stuff in games, like for hunting, because normally I'm just running around to go and find animals and to do most of the things. Even in Call of the Wild, I don't really use ATVs that much. Normally it's only on opening day of a new map, and I'll just drive around, get all the outposts, and then head to multiplayer. But something about how they've presented the vehicles in this game actually makes me want to go and drive them. They look pretty fun. And again, these are all work in progress clips, they're not the final sort of look or how these vehicles will be, but already I'm really impressed. They look like they're built for the environment. I like the fact that it's a truck. I like that over an ATV, honestly. And they just seem to be more suited for the environment and have that ability to go off-road and actually deal with it quite well. And I'm really interested to see how that'll affect animals and whether they'll be really spooked by these from quite a way off. Now, we had a pretty interesting look there at some weather effects whilst that vehicle was parked up. Now, in this next clip, we get to see how grass actually moves around in the environment, and it's not a very clear clip, unfortunately. I couldn't get it into a higher resolution than that, but the grass moves like grass. You see the trails being left, and that's really exciting to me. And here we get a sort of bit of a look at the Africa Reserve. And once again, it just looks really quite realistic, and I'm quite a fan of how that looks. I've seen a few comments that said it looks quite arcadey, and that is a slight worry for me. So I guess we'll just have to see what else comes as this game continues in development. Now, sort of talking a bit more about environment details, and we had a sort of a concept art there for a lookout tower, and then here we see what appears to be one of the hunting towers, and I just really like how this looks. I really, really like it because it reminds me of some of the hunting towers that I've seen in the woods here in the UK. You know, it looks very similar, and I really liked that. Then we get this image, and this image excites me because you can see here we have some tracks, but there's so much more than just tracks. They're sort of left there on the soft mud, and they're quite clear, and I like the idea of being able to follow tracks without having to like highlight them or something. And that sort of forest floor detail there is so realistic. That really reminded me of being out with the camera following deer around here in the UK, and you look down at the floor and that's what it looks like when you're trying to follow tracks. So again, a really exciting image. Now, as you guys have probably guessed by the fact that we have a couple of images of a gun here, we're now going to talk about some of the weapons that have been shown off. And I will say again, I am not a weapons expert, I'm not a gun expert or a bow expert or anything like that. I know a little bit, and I try to learn as much as I can, so if I say anything wrong, feel free to educate me, but I really, really like this. I love the customization system that has been shown off for your weapons for this game, because it seems like we can customize pretty much everything from the caliber to the stock to even the ammunition and, you know, what exactly we want to shoot, and I'll be able to show that a little bit later with some arrows especially. But you just get so many different options, and I really like that. That's something I like, is to be able to choose how my gun or how my bow looks before going out for a hunt, and I'll quite often try and match it to my outfit or match it to the environment. Now here we can see some AR platform rifles, which was being discussed. You know, some people don't like them, some people really love them for hunting, so this was a bit of a discussion post when that got posted. I'm all for it. I really enjoy using them in Call of the Wild, and I will enjoy using them in this game. Then we have some different examples here of some different patterns on the shotguns. I really like the wood stock, I think it looks really nice, but the camo options look really cool too. Now, this post got shared very recently, and it was talking about moving some of the 2D concept art into 3D, and I think this looks really nice. I think this is really smooth and really clean looking, and also very realistic. It looks like, you know, something you could go and pick up off the shelf and go and take hunting, which is something I really like to see. It's not just a picture of something. This looks like something you could actually go and use, which is what's really exciting to me. Now, moving on to the bows, and something about the bows and about what we're going to talk about right now has me incredibly excited to bow and crossbow hunt in this game. So the crossbow models here look absolutely fantastic. The middle one there being my personal favourite. Just really love that dark sort of wood effect. I think it's really nice. And then we have this, the information for the MDR recurve bow. Calibers, arrows, 75 to 1,000 grain. Species, from the smallest game, for example ducks, to the biggest, for example hippos and elephants. So we can use this recurve bow to go and hunt elephants and hippos, and go and take it and then go and hunt ducks with it. How cool is that? In my head, that's just awesome. I want to go and bow hunt an elephant with this. And, imagine going and taking down like a really cool trophy elephant with this recurve. I think that's awesome. And then, just to add even more customization, you can choose your broadheads. They have the option that you can choose your broadheads. How cool is that? So the middle one there, as far as I know, is for hunting birds like turkeys, to actually decapitate them, because apparently that's the best way to actually go for them if you're bow hunting, apparently. That's from what I've been told. But then we have some different other examples there of broadheads, and, just being able to choose that level of customization is fabulous. We also have a couple more clips here of the guns, and we also see a couple of the animal models as well. And I really liked that drop shot as that mule deer was going by there. Obviously, there could still be some improvements to that animation, but overall, I think it looks pretty good. That animal actually looked like it had weight when it fell over, and that's what I liked. Now, sort of moving into the sort of a more miscellaneous category, and we're going to take a look at some equipment. So here we have some binoculars in a couple of different camos, which look really nice. Then we have some turkey decoys, which I think look really cool. It's almost going for that more realistic look rather than a plasticky look. And then we have this, which, as you can see, is a bucket of sweet corn. Now, there's a post to go along with this, which I just had to include so I could read it to you guys, that says, "Howdy, let's talk about feeding. We had planned to introduce such a feature, but had to postpone it due to other more important aspects of the game. However, you will be able to use bait in the form of sweet corn, grain, or offal, which can be dumped anywhere on the map to create a temporary feeding zone attractor. In this way, you'll be able to lure local animals to a particular spot where they will feed for a while. So you can put bait down in front of a tree stand or a stand and wait for animals, which I think is a really nice feature." Now, here we have a bit of a look at one of the sort of character customization screens where you've got some different jackets there. And of course, not the final look, but from what was said in the post that went along with this, you will be able to choose your character's gender and then choose the clothing and everything. So you'll get quite a lot of customization for your character, which is something that's really important to me and I know is important to a lot of people. But for one of my favourite things that I get to show in this video, we have a couple of examples of Trophy Lodge concept art from Ultimate Hunting. And I love both of these concept arts that we're going to take a look at. I want these so bad. Seeing these sort of full displays and scenery is just awesome. And they were asking for feedback on which of these two concept arts we preferred, hence the emoji. And it ended up that there was quite a mix, and we all, like, as a community of people, seemed to say a mix of the two concept arts would be fabulous. And honestly, they just look really cool, and I really, in particular, like the amount of full body mounts. And in this one, I love that mountain at the back. I just love seeing scenery displays in trophy lodges. It reminds me of the Cabela's store, stores where they have those big mountain mounts with several animals on it, and it just looks awesome. And I would really love that to see that for a trophy lodging game, and I think it would be really cool. So I think if we get sort of a mix of these two concept art designs for a trophy lodge, I think it'll be really, really awesome, and I'm really excited. And also seeing there, we have like, it looks like skins on the wall, which is something I would love to have, because sometimes you shoot a rare animal or something and it's not particularly big, you know, if it's a horned or an antlered animal, and if it's not got really big horns or antlers, but it still has a beautiful fur. You know, sometimes you just want to display the albino or the piebald or the melanistic fur on the wall, and I think seeing that as an option will be something really, really cool and something different, and I will personally be really excited for that. Now, that is going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. I'm really excited to see where Ultimate Hunting is going to go with all of this. I think they have the basis here for a potentially really great game, and I'm really excited to see what happens with it. Now, I do have to say one thing, and I said it when I've been talking about Way of the Hunter as well. Do I think this game will kill Call of the Wild when it comes out? No, I don't. Because, like I say all the time, people thought that Call of the Wild would kill the Hunter Classic, and people still play the Hunter Classic. You know, some people play the Hunter Classic and don't like Call of the Wild. Everyone's going to have their different tastes and different opinions, and there's nothing wrong with, you know, playing all of the hunting games. You know, some people still like to play the really, really old Cabela's hunting games. There's nothing wrong with liking many, many different hunting games, and that's basically how I am. I like all of them, and I'm always excited to see all the different ideas that different people have, and also it's nice to see sort of healthy and friendly competition, because it in the end is going to drive overall quality up, I would assume, in the market for hunting games. And I think as consumers, that's a really, really great thing to actually see for us as players. So yeah, I'm just really excited to see where this goes. I know there's a few people that describe Ultimate Hunting as vaporware because it hasn't come out and there hasn't been a trailer since the very first trailer that we actually saw, which I'll play on screen whilst I'm doing this outro. But I think they're taking a lot of time to actually get things right. And if you follow their Facebook page, which I will link, you know, there is quite regular updates and discussion and a lot of stuff that I see that's quite positive. So, I don't know, I think it's definitely one to watch and see what happens, and not just, you know, oh, it's just vaporware. Just wait and see what happens. Keep positive, and yeah, I just think that's how to be. But like I said, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.